Good evening, everyone. You're listening to RedPill78 and Methods Christmas Spectacular Part 2. I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much to everyone who helped make last night an incredible success. I have all the confidence in the world that tonight is going to be just as comfy and cozy, hanging out around the Yuletide log, roasting marshmallows, giving thanks, opening presents, telling our loved ones how important they are to us. Thank you, everyone who made last night so incredibly special. I see several of my mods already in the audience. I saw Charles Pixley. I saw Jojo. Let me see, who else do I see? Well, a bunch of Charles Pixley. Charles, you're prolific tonight. Any of my other mods who are here and I haven't seen you chat yet? Oh, Methods. There we go. Of course, Methods is here. SpaceShot76. Oh, how ironic. All three of us are in the chat and we're all three on the program tonight. You guys, we've got SpaceShot76. We've got our own personal government insider White Hat. And we've got the one and only Brenden Dilley with his first appearance here on the program. We've got a lot to be thankful for this holiday season. Christmas is a special time. It comes but once a year. But that doesn't mean that we give thanks only on one day. Keep this feeling of the season in your heart 365 days a year, guys. And Ultraviolet, Ultraviolet 100, you are here. Hello, Red Pill fam. You guys, once again, thanks for being here. We're going to be right back after a very brief word from our sponsor, and we're going to start the program. Hey guys, I spoke with My Patriot Supply the other day and we were talking about how people prepared from like 2010 to 2016 versus how they're preparing now. And they said they noticed it seemed like a lot of people just stopped preparing when the last occupant of the White House left, as if everything that was being prepared for was just having to do with either him or HRC. But if you do think that, then you're wrong. It's so much more than that. Just imagine the deep state. Imagine what they're willing to do to get their power back. You know, destroying the Constitution, subverting due process, destroying people who are innocent and who've done nothing wrong. Just imagine what's going to happen if they come back into power. Now, I'm not saying I think that's likely. I don't think it is. But personally, I'd rather not be caught off guard. We prepare because the threats we face are bigger than any one single thing. And because of that fact, I've partnered again with My Patriot Supply, and I think that you guys should too. So right now you can save $70 on a 2-week food kit and you'll get guaranteed 2-day delivery. And it's at preparewithredpill78.com. Now the offer won't last, but the good news is that My Patriot Supply will. And don't think you can't afford to not prepare, because they have a lot of different payment options and plans to fit any budget, so you don't have to wait. Get ahead of the chaos today and go to preparewithredpill78.com. That's preparewithredpill78.com. And remember, when you support My Patriot Supply, you support this channel. Merry Christmas, Red Pill family. I do see Jojo K, Crystal Lynn, and Brianna Eves in the audience as well. Thank you once again, everyone, to coming. Last night was kind of like Christmas Mass. Today is Christmas morning, so that's why I am wearing my robe and my pajamas. JM, thank you very much for that super chat, my friend. Well, guys, I know you're not here to just listen to me all night, so without further ado, please join me in welcoming two of my best friends in the world, SpaceShot76, and my co-host, Methods. How you guys doing?
What's going on, Red Pill? What's up, YouTube chat? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, my brothers, and all of the people in attendance. So great to see you guys all tonight. And can't wait. Gonna have a great show, as it was an absolutely great show last night. And very much looking forward to rocking and rolling here. What a great environment. I love the fireplace. And I love that the last occupant of the White House. I love that. Can't even call him the president. I love it.
Wheezy Girl is here as well. Thank you very much to all the mods who are here to help us keep it comfy and cozy tonight. Well, Space Shot, it's been a big year, my friend. It's been a very big year, and I think we've got a lot of things to give thanks for, a lot of things to remember. You know, when you look back on 2019, tell me some of your fondest memories. What are we looking at?
Well, I would say building many friendships that I think will be, lifelong friends for sure. So many, you two, of course, included, and many of the people even in the down in the chat. We've seen, progression. We've seen like little lulls and whatnot, but I think I'm just loving the whole ride in general because, some weeks are just like, oh, we're getting such great information, but I don't know about specific things that, I'm thankful for everything, thankful for the wonderful support I receive on here and, obviously healthy family and friends and really just loving to see the way this movie is starting to play out because, we had a lot of doubters in the beginning, and I think we're having a momentum shift a few months back. And, after the Inspector General report, we're starting to see even more things start to blossom. So I'm just really loving the ride. And it's basically, like I mentioned before, it's going up and down. And, we get excited sometimes, and then sometimes it's like, oh, there's nothing happening. And, I'm just loving this ride and enjoying this ride right along with everybody else that's doing it with us. We couldn't do it without all the awesome support that we receive along the way.
Absolutely. A lot of people, well, I'm not going to say a lot. There's a number of people who get frustrated and get upset with having to go along on that ride. Me personally, it's all about the ride. Like you said, it's not the destination, okay? It's the times that we have on the way there, because what we're experiencing now, hopefully, God willing, we'll never have to experience again or even get to experience again. There have been so many firsts, so many unique things that we've had the opportunity to experience over the course of this journey. And I'm so incredibly thankful for all of it and for everybody who's here tonight. You guys are great. Methods, how do you feel about that? We often talk about, getting there, but I think that the ride is really important.
Hey, this is the best time of my life, personally. Hanging out with you guys. I see people in the chat that I get to see and interact with every day on Twitter and other places, and it's just great. I love the moment. I know some people are like, well, you guys need to quit, being so positive and, things need to happen faster and all that, and that's fine. But I think that I think we're doing the right thing here. I think that we need to, make sure that the community feels that group hug, feels that we're here, we're hanging out with you each day to day. We want to hear about your problems and your successes, praise reports, be there for people like the GoFundMe with the professor showing the Q video.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Anybody out there that supported, retweeted, donated to him, God bless you 10 times on that, because to watch that grow, that's what this movement's about. We're taking care of each other, hanging out. We wanted to do this tonight and last night to just hang out with everybody and let's chat about whatever, see what's going on and people like Space Shot's world. Glad to see your internet connection's working well, Fred.
Bleep blop. Oh yes, only on my live streams do we feel those technical difficulties.
Oh, just a couple of quick thank yous to the audience. Mike Johnson said, Q in the chat if you came over from True Reporting. Thomas, everybody was here last night, got to see Thomas last night. He's a great guy, one of my other great friends, and he had one of his live streams before this. So if you guys did come over from Thomas's live stream, thank you very much. Mike Johnson said, oh, I'm sorry, that was what he just said. Nick L. said, Merry Christmas, friends. Thank you for that. John Ramsey said, my apologies for my impatience last week. Love. Well, John, it's okay. We are all human beings, and we all have, periods of elation and frustration. It's part of that journey. So I don't fault anybody for having their own, emotional fits. It happens to all of us. So don't even worry about it. John, I'm glad you're here. Lady Cobra 3, that's a great name, said Merry Christmas and thank you to all of you who give so much of your time to help get the word out. Thank you very much for that. And I'm glad that people understand and appreciate it, because this is our lives. I mean, it is the coolest thing that I could ever possibly be doing. I remember many years ago, I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if I could just research and take down evil people and not have to worry about it, because I knew that I was doing the right thing. And then a couple years later, this is like real life for me. It's like something that I never actually anticipated.
Oh yeah, no, we get to hang out with some of the best people in the world here in this chat. I'm reading through it. You keep seeing people like TikTok and Prof Q and everybody in here. Your mother is here again, which Merry Christmas, Mom.
Merry Christmas, Mom.
But yeah, no, we get to do this, and it's a different life. We couldn't have expected this a few years ago. A few years ago, we would assume we'd all be running for the hills or hanging out in an empty Walmart together,
or a missile silo out in the Great Plains.
Right. So no, we get to. That's why we want to do these things. Yeah, we want to break news, get it out there, and all that stuff. But we also, everybody's our family, man. I spend more time with all of you than I do my own, and it's an honor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, to your point, Red Pill, about, the ebbs and flows. And I think I can speak for the both of you when I say that, yes, we're positive and we try to stay positive. And I think a lot of the negativity stems from people that really don't look at it. They take a cursory look at some of these things. But what I can speak, for these guys, as if we saw something that was off base or something that was headed down the wrong tunnel or something like that, we are going to be the first three people to let you know that something's off. We're not just like, oh, Trump, rah, 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 he can do no wrong. If he did some wrong, we're going to tell you the truth regardless. So
yes,
we're here about that. And I felt the same thing, Red Pill, it was like last April. Man, we need to see arrests now. What the heck's going on? Why is this taking so long? And then when you take a step back and see all the little, piles that these people are dipping themselves into, it's just so widespread and there's so much corruption to button up. So I don't fault them for taking their time, and I'd rather have them do it the right way to make sure these people see justice.
You know how I want to make a metaphor here. It's like when you're opening presents on Christmas morning and the first present you open up is a pair of socks. And then a couple presents later, you've got a brand new pair of shoes, okay? The shoes and the socks go together, and we've gotten so many drips and so many crumbs over the course of these last several years. By the time that it all pans out, it will be so perfect, and we will look back and we'll say, oh my goodness, now I realize, this happened at this point because of this, and if it wasn't going in the way that it was meant to go, then it would have screwed everything up. Real quick, Zoso Dude 77 says, I miss Space Shot and Method's Saturday night news summaries. You guys, I miss that too. Doug McDougal says, all I want for Christmas is the 2 main arrests. I'm right there with you, Doug. I certainly would love to see an arrest or two happen for Christmas. But what about getting the band back together, guys? Now that Methods, we've suckered you back into the YouTube world.
Yeah, well, no, definitely. No, me and Space Shot been talking about it, and if you would be so kind as to allow me back on, then by all means, I'll definitely do it.
Yeah, about that. Oh, of course, my man. Yeah. You know that, my man. You're always absolutely more than welcome to jump on, and I'll be glad to have you, as you know. And I would say to that comment, what you want for Christmas is that arrest. But would you rather have that arrest now and have somebody get off on a technicality a few months down the road,
right,
or wait a few months and make sure everybody gets locked down? But believe me, us three feel what you mean, and we want to see results too. And I think we are seeing results in the wide scope of these investigations. Things are starting to really heat up.
I do too. I definitely believe that we are on the right track, and I think that everything is going just as it's meant to go. Like you said, we do not want these people to get off on a technicality. We need them to be arrested and indicted with the absolute fullest accounting of their criminal activity so that there's no mistaking it. I mean, they're going to come in with solid, what was it? Solid charges, slam dunk charges. And if they don't, then, we may not get the end result that we want. It has to go in the way that it's meant to. And it's definitely going to happen, you guys. And it's not on our time. I mean, I can want it all day long and it's going to happen, but It's just
right,
not yet.
But if we want to sit here and be so focused on that bar, and then each day you don't reach it, you drop down a little bit lower emotionally and feel less active, or that energy feeds off. And I get it. I've had moments too. I don't show it. I never want to show it, but I'm like, I wish it would have happened this way, how I thought. But try to, like, we keep using the word comfy, and we will always use it, because you always want to find that level of, I'm still going to enjoy my day. I'm still going to enjoy life. I'm still going to connect with people. Yeah. And just real quick, 1776Q said they were banned from Twitter for life, so please do stay. YouTube, I'm just getting started. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But yeah, I'll definitely be around, and I think you'll see also Space Shot and I doing his Saturdays sometime again in January, if I'm not mistaken.
I do just want to say, everybody who's here right now, make sure you stick around till the end of the program, because we do have a very, very special announcement that we'll be making at a later juncture in this program. Also, Kimberly Bogan said, Merry Christmas from Team Bogan. We are so thankful for our Q family. Looking forward to an amazing 2020 with RP78. P.S. Love the vape jacket. That's right. Thank you so much, Kim and Kev. I appreciate you guys being here.
Hey guys, I got a quick question for you.
Go ahead.
In response to one of Q's posts the other day, talking about something along the lines of the first indictment will basically set the course of where we're headed. What do you guys think? I know a lot of people think maybe Soros or some. I mean, I think it's got to be somebody big, because it's got to be shocking.
Method, do you want to take that one?
Oh yeah, you make me take the short straw. I don't want to give anything to where you'll be like, oh, Method said this, or he thinks that, or whatever. Like, that's always why I stay away from it. So we'll play the hypothetical game here. Obviously, George Soros has been, and we talked about this last night, he's been totally involved. Q's brought him up, Barr's brought him up, Rudy's brought him up, Boris Johnson. Other countries are talking about. I saw multiple, like Chuck Ross DC, I think, covered him today. That would kind of, to me, if I'm the the grand master of this plan, that would be a good first one, because it would shock the world. It would get everybody's eyes on. You could follow that paper trail of George Soros and be like, well, we took down George Soros, and oh, your paper trail led to the Democrat Party, and we were just doing our job. That one makes sense. There's been some other ones too that people have pointed out about how it was said it would be, quote, change we could believe in, and all those other Obama statements that he made, which could lead down. Now that would definitely wake up the world. I can't wrap my head around that. So I don't know. We'll see. I really don't want to sit here and say, Method said this, and then it runs with it. But I would love any of it.
I obviously think that it has to be somebody up there at the top. If, like you just said, if it was Barry, then that would certainly set the tone and the stage for exactly what's to come. I personally think that it's going to end up being one of the top-level people in the intelligence community. It maybe Brennan, maybe Comey, maybe Andrew McCabe. But I think it's going to be somebody important like that. But of course, don't quote me either, because it literally could be anybody. I mean, if it was anyone involved in the Spygate scandal, I think that's going to set a message. And we are all going to know exactly what's going on. But, and even if it's the general public, they might realize if they see somebody, like a Kevin Kleinsmith or something like that getting arrested. But I really do think that it's going to be either Comey or Brennan. But if it was HRC or Barry, I would probably die right then.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not going to be like, all right, it's Andy McCabe or Lisa Page or something. It's got to be somebody that's gonna shock the system. So that's something to look forward to. And one thing I would say too is, a lot of people are out there asking, when do you think the Durham report's going to be out? And I'll quote my good buddy Ardoc, and what he says is, he's a prosecutor. Are you waiting for a report? I don't think so. You're probably waiting for just flat out indictments.
When I think Durham report, I think a press release from the DOJ with a list of people who are being indicted,
with the full blown spider web board next to him explaining everything all night. But yeah, to that point, Space Shot, I agree with you. I know that Barr said that he expects, and people need to remember, he said he expects for Durham to have his watershed moment late spring, early summer. But just like you brought up, and I've been trying to tell some people behind the scenes, that doesn't mean that indictments can't happen along the way. all because he's like, all right, here's my full analysis. Let me go in front of a Lindsey Graham or somebody else, you know, in the Senate and fully explain. But, you know, indictments along the way would, you know, it doesn't have to be then, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Couple of quick thank yous. Gaffer Anon said, grateful I found Space Shot 76, which led to Bree Eve 1745 tattoo artwork, where we go one, we go all. Special thank you to RedPill78. And last but not least, Methods to Madness. Thank you for all the great work you continually do. Thank you for that, Gaffer. Jennifer Lawrence, just a super chat. Thanks, Jennifer. Michael Kenny said, who is building Gitmo? Army, COE, or Bin Laden's, etc.? Actually, I had somebody checking that earlier, and I believe it was Siemens, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Professor Q, thank you for that. And Red Pill Doc, the palindrome Soros. If it is Soros, then that would mean that he would have to be in the country, or he would have to be in a country that would have an extradition treaty with the United States.
Well, if you remember, I don't mean to cut you off. You remember when the mob was taken down and they worked in coordination with that country? It could be a joint op, depending on where he's at.
So let's say if he's in Italy, you know, but I tend to think that he's going to be somewhere in like the Eastern Baltic states, someplace where it's not going to be as easy for us to get him out of there. George Soros, we might end up having to hunt him down like they did for Nuremberg, something like that. Right. Let's see here. There was somebody that said something earlier, and I caught it, and it left my mind. Well, no worries. Space Shot, what are you most looking forward to here in 2020? What do you want to see in the new year? Besides the obvious arrests.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that plot twist, right? Because we're watching a movie, as we've been told over and over, and you know, what makes a really good movie, you know, good actors, etc. But I think what really makes a good movie is a plot twist. And I think there's going to be something that's going to shake us up at the end. And I think we're going to find out that even some people that we thought were good actors are not good actors, and vice versa. So, you know, obviously I'm looking for those arrests, but I'm just enjoying, you know, all these little breadcrumbs that they're dropping along the way, and then you just look at it and you just kind of like shake your head like, man, you know, how do they do that? How do they know these things so far ahead of time? And you know, I'm just looking forward to any of those new posts, and I'm looking forward to possibly ever getting cued, but somebody keeps hogging up all the cued action on Twitter, or somebody methods again today.
Don't hate the player, man.
Hate the game. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that was great. We were on the phone this morning, and he casually mentioned that he got cued, and then like while we're on the phone, he's like, "Did I just get cued again?" It's like, it's no big deal now.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it, but once again, thank you everybody who blew up my Twitter, you know, about it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not in a back channel with Q. I don't have any way of making that happen. But with that said, you know, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful that those clips that have been queued made it how they did, because it's definitely like the newness that's got to be so encouraging. You know, when I heard it, it was so encouraging.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm glad that it went out there, and yeah, that's all I'll say about it.
That was awesome. That was awesome with the Nunes deal. You know, hey, we got all these people out on Twitter and all your viewers. Big hat tip to all the Anons out there pushing all the knowledge.
It just goes to show, I've thought for a long time that Devin was like directly on point with this stuff, like that he was watching, because there's just sometimes he does and he says things that are just so on point, and it seems like he'll have similar talking points to whatever it is the Q is you know, starting to talk about at any given point. So that was a really nice confirmation. You know, it was a good pat on the back, a nice attaboy for people like us, because we are out there digging stuff up and putting it out there, and you guys are helping us share it, and it's a wonderful feeling to know that we're all part of this incredible movement.
Yeah, just wrap your head around that for a second. So digs that have happened, whether they come from the boards or somebody on Twitter just brought all their information there and then tagged Nunes or dropped it on a Bongino tweet or something. And whether it wasn't necessarily, even if it wasn't like what Devin was looking for or his team was looking for, the thought process put into it. Because, you know, Devin is an autist up and down. You could tell he tries to even put sentences together to hide things correctly. He's awesome. For that to be like molding an international investigation, and it was based off of replies on Jack Dorsey's Twitter, is incredible. And so be proud. Everybody be very proud.
Super proud. Oh, that's right. Somebody mentioned that George Soros is in Romania, and I just wanted to say we do have an extradition treaty with Romania. So if it is him and it happens very, very soon, then that would be awesome. Baby Yoda says, I'm late, brother. I'm here. My best to your mom. Press 17 for Red Pill's mom. Yeah, guys, press 17 in the chat for my mom. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. And Baby Yoda, wait until you see what's coming in the mail. I'm getting a very special Christmas present, and you're not going to want to miss it.
Ooh,
I'll give you a
wait
clue.
to see that.
I'll give you a clue. Baby Yoda sipping soup.
There you go. A lot of 17s from Mama 78.
Yeah. Mom, look at that. Look at all
Flying.
that love. I don't have slow mode on, so it's just zooming by. Dang. You guys are great. Probably got about 3,000 17s right there.
Right.
I am going to throw on slow mode, though, because I know that somebody's eyeballs are probably burning.
Right. Well, while you do that, everybody make sure you click like, get this out there. We're not done tonight. We got our buddy White Hat coming on, and then, you know, the one and only Dilley, and anything else that we want to cover, especially that special announcement. So yeah, make sure you guys do that. Thank you so much.
Yes, and always, if you can, just make sure that your notifications are turned on, that it's set to all notifications, not just some notifications, because that really means mostly none. And then always make sure that you are still subscribed, because a lot of people end up getting unsubscribed, and I don't know how many of them come back, but hopefully the majority of them do. But, you know, I'm still gaining subscribers more than I'm losing subscribers, so that's a good sign. So we are breaking through in a couple of different ways. But anything you guys can do to help us share the message, share these videos, liking and sharing them on your favorite social media platform does a world of difference. And on that note, a world of difference just showed up here in the chat. Blanco Sombrero himself. White Hat, what's up, brother?
Hello.
Good to see you, friend.
There you are.
What's up, brother?
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Well, just sitting back like everyone else, listening to Space Shot Methods and you reminisce and talk about the future, and giving out a lot of good info there. I can piggyback on some of it. I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying.
Awesome. Well, I mean, since you're here, I would love to hear from a man on the inside. You know, what are you most thankful for here in the year of 2019?
Well, for me, you know, it's just about being continually healthy, having the kids growing up in front of my eyes, keeping them healthy. And, you know, back in the day, I used to pray for God to put me in a position to make a difference, to be a part of a cause. And sure enough, here we are. You know, we're a digital army. You know, I think if you look back at everything we've accomplished and what we're able to do right now, it's unbelievable. It's amazing. And being in the government is a dream job for me. I get to see a lot, know a lot, get to play 007 a little bit, and I get to you know, help the country. You know, serve the best way I can.
Well, hats off to you, my friend. You do a great job. And every day when I wake up, I know that we are just a little bit safer because you're sitting there behind a computer. And I mean that in the best possible way.
that was nice. And White Hat is awesome. I mean, I know that he's recently been brought into the fold. I know that Red Pill had him on a while ago. But
when I first started, yeah.
Yeah, you had him on, and you've had him around a lot more. Like, I want people to know in this, like, White Hat's just like the greatest, one of the greatest people that we've met. Like, the encouragement, he'll ask the right questions behind the scenes, and he's not looking for, like, it'll inspire something that whether Red Pill put it in a video or I'll cover it in a tweet or something, and he's not looking for credit. He's just looking to help and be a part of it. And so when we endorse people, especially when a lot of people hadn't heard of them, there's a reason. And no, Whitehat's definitely a part of this circle of people.
Yeah, I can say with full confidence, another one of the best people that I've met this entire time. Someone that I call, a very close and dear friend. And I often forget that you're not like out there necessarily like us, because I mean, we talk to you every day. It's like you're part of the group. And I don't think that it would be anywhere near as fun if we didn't have each other to bounce this stuff off of and try to figure it out. Decoding on the fly every day. It's great.
Oh, it's wonderful. And my gosh, that's some very kind words from you guys. Thank y'all so much. I certainly feel the same about you guys and everybody in the chat. I start to slowly recognize some of your names. And especially, the ones that do super chats and, kind of put their ideas out there and then hit me up on Twitter whenever I am on Twitter. It's a huge community, and it's just nothing but love. And, you guys are awesome. I talk to you guys every single day. I really don't need a hobby because hell, I got one, you guys. But listen though, the level at which the legitness, if that's the word, it's so legit. You got to think the information that we get and that we are able to find and put together is just an unbelievable thing.
It's a lot of fun. I just need to say thank you to Herbal Bee Lady for becoming a member. Curlew Patriot said Giuliani mentioned eyes on Romania. That's right, didn't he? Adam14041 said, did Bree do the background? She did Space Shot, and did she do Methods background too?
No, yeah, she did the background on my Twitter. Yeah, yep. Killed it.
Yes, both of them are beautiful. This was just me on DuckDuckGo. And then Michael Kenny said, Kissinger could be the big arrest. One could hope. Something tells me that Kissinger's got a pass. His crimes are from a long time ago, and I would imagine that anything he did, he probably already would have received a presidential pardon from Richard Nixon. What do you guys think about that?
I think somebody's already writing you an email saying you're wrong.
You never know on that one. One thing I'll add to Mr. Whitehat's comments over there are so many wonderful people that are in our movement, and that people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis and comment back and forth and receive emails and comments down below. I think bar none, we have the best community going out there.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely, this is the best. And I think what was it, Julian's Rum tweeted out earlier and said it best, like the Q movement or Q supporters are the most loud, out there people. I'm butchering it, but on Twitter as far as supporting Trump. And he's not wrong. We all do support each other, make sure people have the right information if they're running the wrong way. And they're always there, and there's just a lot of love. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. I just want to say that someone in the chat, Mark Roberts, said he just found his friend in the Air Force has been assigned to the Space Force. Guys, I got the worst news I possibly could have received today. Apparently, I'm too old to enlist in the Space Force, and I am so bummed out about that, you guys.
You got could always letter too? Damn, I got the same thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say you could always talk to Joe Biden and see if you can get a waiver.
I think it's a waiver to just not go, isn't it? If I could join the Space Force, I totally would. There's nothing I want more than to fly amongst the stars at supersonic speeds, speed of light, maybe even teleport up there. However they figure out to get people off this big blue ball. Ever since I learned that President Trump was inaugurating the Space Force, I planned on attempting to join, and today it turns out that I'm too old. And I certainly don't feel like an old man, but I have to admit that I'm there.
You're pretty old. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, I must be really old then. I think we're around the same age. I think I got you by a couple of years.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, just take a look at his shower head. That tells you all you need to know.
Yeah. Oh man, I earned that shower head.
Right.
I'll tell you what though, I bought everything for my bathroom. I bought on sale. I sought out exactly what I wanted in the cheapest possible way that I could through like mail order services, and I got it all. So, people who go to Home Depot and buy everything there, I don't know, maybe you did it better than me, but I saved money, but it was really stressful.
Right. But yeah, so we want to go ahead and break that news. RedPill78, after what, 3 months now? 4 months now?
Yep, three.
Was able to actually shower in his own house. So if I can get let's just go with a 17 to support Red Pill for the fact that he was able to wash himself in his own home.
Yeah, it was quite literally the best shower that I've ever taken, and it only lasted like 10 minutes, but it was amazing. It was exactly everything that I thought it would be. I don't know that I've ever taken a shower in like a brand new shower. Like it was like my daughter took one this morning first before I did, but it was still essentially brand spanking new.
I just like that everybody's cheering you on for taking a shower right now. This is awesome.
I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I showered every day. I just couldn't do it here. John Ramsey, thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate that, bud. Appreciate that. Also, JD Davis.
Red?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead and do your thing. I'll speak after.
Oh, I was just going to say, JD Davis said, willing to be patient as necessary to get the job done right. That's it. We have to be patient because, as I've said many times in the past, it doesn't do any good for us to get worked up and, angry because things are not the way that we desire them to be. They inevitably will be perfect. They will be exactly the way that they're meant to be. And as soon as you can come to that realization and know it within yourself, it allows you to be so much more relaxed. You can just let all the stresses go because there will be other things to stress you out. I guarantee it. That is life. JM said, go hashtag Space Force. That's right. Go Space Force. White Hat, what were you going to say, my friend?
I was just going to make a comment about who I think the first arrest is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I was listening. I'm just going to go ahead and say it, man. I can't see how George Soros is still walking around and not in handcuffs with so many people, on his trail right now. I mean, and the fact that they all just started talking about him all of a sudden. I mean, just out of the blue, and it just seems like every day somebody's mentioning his name. But I'll take a little low-hanging fruit with a little Comey and McCabe for now. But I think Soros, man, he's got to go. I just don't understand how he's not arrested yet.
I agree. The only reason I think he hasn't been arrested is because he owns so much law enforcement. He's put money into the pockets of so many politicians and so many lawmakers across the globe. I mean, it was incredible to me when, countries started speaking out against him and started working actively to push him out and stop allowing his money to influence their, political debates and their spheres of influence on a daily basis. But, it's a huge step that we've taken to have this many people out there speaking out about him and really telling the truth, because for such a long time, it was like he was untouchable. Like Bill Barr the other day talking about him inserting his nose into like county level stuff, like all over the country, helping to get prosecutors arrested, people who clearly do not have the rule of law at heart. They're not interested in upholding, laws and order or protecting police or, keeping the chain of command. They want to go ahead and destroy the country from the ground up. And if we would have gone another way, then, it very, very easily could have happened.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, everybody's like, well, if Durham, not everybody, but if Durham's working on, what happened in 2016 and all that stuff, well, what's Barr doing if he's saying he's not really working hand in hand with Durham? Barr just, tipped his hand and said, well, I haven't even been in here this long, and this is what George Soros is doing on a state level. And it's like, oh, okay, so you're digging in on these documents on this side. And that's definitely perked my ears when he said it, especially.
Yeah. It was a huge deal for him to come out and say that. Because as much as he wants to talk about, being impartial and not tipping his hand, he clearly let us know that he has been keeping an eye on George Soros. On his content says maybe he was chipped and they let him go. Go ahead, Whitehead.
What I was gonna say is that look at this though. You even have Q posting GS around the same time. I mean, it looks just very coordinated to me. I guess is the nerd talking in me. It just seems a little, I don't know. Maybe my eyes are too big, and I'm hoping we go get them. But I just wanted to throw something in here too. A little side note. Hey, Space Shot, you're one of the first channels I ever listened to when I started digging on this whole Q movement. By the way,
awesome. that's sweet.
I think he's been a big influence on a lot of us. I mean, I've been very open about the fact that Space Shot was my favorite YouTube channel for a long time, and I mean, you were the only place that I would go to get information on this stuff, and we talked behind the scenes. It was always it was a big fanboy moment for me when we made contact and I got to be your friend, man. So I really appreciate all of your help in what you've done for me to help me get here, because I don't know that I would have if it wasn't for you, brother.
I appreciate that, brother. And that was kind of a funny story how we met. Remember? Relax. I'm one of the good guys. You want to tell him? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell him. Okay, so I was watching Space Shot's video, and he had I think that you had given some clue as to your identity, and I just had always remembered it.
I think you were watching a Bill Smith video in a Skype.
And then I watched the Bill Smith video, and I saw it pop up on Bill's video. It popped up a Skype message, and it had, your name, and it said that you were Space Shot 76. And so I immediately I started spamming you on Twitter, and I was like, you got to send me a DM, because I couldn't DM you because you didn't follow me. And I messaged you on Skype, and you didn't answer, and so I started spamming you on Twitter, and you were like, what's going on, freak? And I was like, listen, Bill Smith has you doxxed in a video, and you got to tell him to get it down so that you're okay. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, this is so cool. Thank you for helping me out. And he sent me a gift card, and we became buddies and gave me his phone number and stuff. And I started sending him my decodes and telling him what I thought about stuff. And we just became really good friends. And it was, he was a big influence for me, to decide to go ahead and start a channel. Once I realized, I was like, okay, he's just a normal guy. He's just like me, because maybe you don't realize this. Maybe I just didn't realize it. I would watch these people make videos, and I would think, geez, oh, Pete's, this is so cool. It's another level. Not thinking that, you got a job, you go to work, you got kids, you're married, you got a household to maintain. It's just another thing that you're doing in your life, except that you had the opportunity to help people and reach out and touch somebody like me, which allowed me to get to where I am today. And I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, where he is today, and he's killing it out there and doing an awesome job. And just so you remember, just so you do know, originally I'd never seen any of those Twitter messages, so I wasn't ignoring you or anything. But
I didn't think so.
I was over the moon, happy. I'm like, oh man, what's this guy? Yeah, I'm like, because I totally forgot I even had that old Twitter account, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. Like, who is this guy? But,
that was the other part of it, is that I found another Twitter account with your real name, and I matched up the location. That was it. That was the bit of information from your video that I remembered. I remembered something about your location, and then I just put it all together. It was like I triangulated your location, and then I was like, "This is you. You got to take it down."
This sounds eerily like stalking.
Yeah, see, but
this is research methods.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
I'm researching. Yeah, okay, whatever.
It shows though. He's a damn good researcher at that, and he does awesome videos. And if I sparked any part of that, I'm more than blown away for that. But guys, I'm gonna have to dip out now. I gotta get my little one to bed.
Okay.
It's been an absolute blast with you guys. Love you guys all. I love everybody down below, everybody in our community. We have the best one, bar none.
Love you too, brother. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
not a problem, guys. We'll talk soon, guys. Peace.
All right. Have a great night. Oh, Whitehead, you want to tell the story about how we met?
I was actually going to play a joke on you and pull an Adam Schiff and be like, yeah, one day we were at a circus. I accidentally dropped my badge and you picked it up. And, actually, back in the day, right before I introduced myself to you, I was lurking around, and I got this. I still have it now, and I talked to you guys a little bit. I've got to find out who the freak the Q team is, and that's one of the first thing I thought of. I'm like, how cool is that? There's a military group, that have this forecasted plan, that are able to do this and able to do that. And then my father-in-law came to me, and he was all excited about it too. I mean, we were just going back and forth. He's like, hey man, you listen to that Red Pill and Space Shot. I'm like, yeah, man, I listen to him too. And, it's great. And so, I reached out to you. Hell, I don't know what it was about. I think I was just like, hey man, I'm here if you need anything.
Yeah.
And here's a couple of pieces of evidence that shows you that I'm not full of it. And I'm on the same in the same boat, man. I'm on the Trump train. I'm on I'm on this Q team, this digital soldier, this digital army. I'm on board, man.
Yep, and from that point on, we were fast friends as well. It's it was a super interesting day for me in a really good way, because you were the first insider, I would say, to reach out to me, and it really it made me feel so good to know that you were out there watching my videos and you thought that I was worthy of being reached out to. It really just made my day, dude. 100%.
Well, you talk about well, I mean, I definitely appreciate it. I feel great that I get to come on here and speak my mind. But there's a lot of legitimacy to this. I mean, the info is real. It's vetted. I mean, you even look at some of the people in the chat. I know of 2 or 3 that are military intelligence that are watching.
Oh, nice.
And so they, it's a movement that's getting more and more, out mainstream, more and more. And and you are a big part of that. You and Methods are, pioneers in this, and in my opinion.
It means a lot to me, dude. And anybody out in the chat who's MI, thank you very much. Thank you for your service. We're glad you guys are here. My next question I was going to ask, is this something you guys talk about around the water cooler?
Well, it is now. I bring the Q book that you wrote a chapter in to work.
Sweet.
And we talk about it, and I just recently started speaking to my boss about it, and getting him interested and trying to find out more about Q, what the Q team's about, and all that. And he's a pretty smart guy and knows a lot of people, and and it's very, very interesting indeed, at work. But most people, 80%, I'd say 85% of the people out there are oblivious. They have no idea about any of this.
Wow. So that's just crazy to me. Methods, can you imagine existing in a world where nobody knows about what's going on?
Well, you're asking the wrong person, man, because I was into this stuff before, and I was that crazy one that you're like, I'm just not going to answer his call. He's going to say something weird. So now, I mean, to me, of course, yeah, it makes sense, especially since we live in everybody's tweets, Facebook posts, and everything, everybody on quote unquote their side. We're always there, whether we're talking trash, dropping truth bombs, joking around or whatever. So yeah, to me, it's like, I'm sure it's a lot of in 2016, they say a lot of people that voted for Trump didn't say they voted for Trump. They just went in there and quietly just voted for him. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, I see that as like, that's where we are now in the Q movement. I think that there's a lot of people. I mean, we even notice people like Jenna Jameson, Roseanne, people that are, you know, they're open about it, but I wonder, because I do catch some people, and I'm not gonna say any of their names, but I see them show up in my notifications with their verified check, and I'm like, I know you would never say this publicly, but I caught you, and I leave it alone, but I know you're watching. So no, I know it's way bigger than we can even see, but a lot of it's mum's the word.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously something very difficult to quantify. You know, I mean, it's not the kind of thing that they're going to go out and do a poll on, and if they do, then it's going to be, you know, oversampled with Democrats, I would imagine, and people who are completely.
I've never been polled on these national polls that show up on every news thing, and I've even put it out there before, and other people say, yeah, I've never answered those questions.
No.
So how can you poll and speak for me when you didn't even ask me or anybody I know?
Yeah. You know, I guess, and this, I guess my question was loaded earlier. I take it for granted because of the circles that we run in that we all know about this stuff. But I, too, was that crazy conspiracy guy before. I was the one that I think everybody in my family rolled their eyes at. And, you know, maybe they started getting worried about me as time went on because, you know, I didn't stop talking about this stuff. You know, at a certain point, hey, Conscious Abe's here. What's up, Abe?
Hey, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Deb Janice just said, Merry Christmas, guys, and thanks for keeping me sane. Thank you, Deb, for being here. Also, thank you to Singin' Pretty Diddy Gittin' and Lady Cobra 3 again for joining up, you guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, so, you know, White Hat, are you able to talk about this stuff at home? Does Mrs. White Hat know?
Oh, good question. No. Well, you know, I can't talk about work. A lot of my work specifically to anyone, even in my house. I just rather them not know, and I just say, you know, basic, like I did this, I did that, but no details. But that's okay. You know, the best kind of husband, in my opinion, is the one that can sit there and listen to your wife, because, you know, happy wife, happy life, you know. So it's okay. She's down with it. She knows y'all's names, and she's very familiar with all of this. And she always reminds me, though, you know, keep God first, and you know, He's directing all of us. And as long as we do that, you know, she's all in.
Good stuff. I just wondered if we were going to hear her in the background or something like that. If she knew that you were on a show with 2,909 people watching right now, listening to your every word.
Oh no, bro. She's her thing is a glass of champagne, cooking cakes, and watching TV or Netflix. You know, by herself. That's how she is, man. She
Good
could
stuff.
care less what I'm doing right now.
Good stuff. Hey, 412 is here too. What's up, 412 and on? Good to see you, bud. Somebody just mentioned Zachary K. Hubbard in the chat. He's been somebody I've thought about having on the show before. He does some really interesting work with numbers and patterns. Have you guys ever heard of him?
Heard of, yes. Haven't really gone too much. People who pay attention, I don't really go down too many other paths of people that are doing those kind of things.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool. More power to you. Do what you're into, of course. But no, I know of course, and I'm sure people are going to start sending me, hey, you need to watch this, which is fine, but no, not me personally.
How about you, Whitehead? You ever heard of him?
You know me, I don't know a whole lot of folks. So I mean, you guys are like, hey, this person this did this. I mean, this person that, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is, man. Who is that? You know,
you know, I get so many videos sent to me, and if I can just make a personal request, guys, if you want to send me a video, that's totally cool, but maybe write me up just like 1 or 2 sentences of like what it is you want me to look for in there. Because if it's, I'll be honest, if it's a 45-minute video, the chances that I'm going to watch all the way through are pretty slim.
Timestamps.
Yeah, timestamp it for me. That would be so incredibly convenient, and it might help me get it into my video for that day. Kip Simpson, also somebody mentioned Kip Simpson. I've been watching Kip Simpson for years. He's from Canada, but I'm not going to hold it against him. He's a great guy. He's always got excellent stories about arrests and whatnot.
And I will mention this. White Hat's Twitter is Blanco Sombrero.
Yeah.
At Blanco Sombrero. Everybody flood his Twitter with videos. So he knows who to follow, who to watch. There better be an iPod in there.
Yep.
There better be a True Reporting. he knows Red Pill, but you guys just go nuts. I'm sure he'll appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Sure. Just so y'all know, man, like and this is the truth, when I say that I'm going dark or something like that, it just means that I've got something specific at work or something that I've got to dive in on, and I have to put my attention, 100% of my attention there. And I'm not one of these people that cares about followers or anything like that. So if I don't follow you or whatever, please I'll apologize now, but it certainly come by my Twitter account and check it out. I'll respond to you if I can, for sure.
Really, I just want to say again, John D'Souza's in the house again. John, I forgot to email you last night because it was I had a lot to do after the show, but I will be emailing you tonight. Once again, if you just want to reach out ahead of time to me, it's redpill78@protonmail.com. But John D'Souza is going to be on the show. I'm going to make that call right now because he gave me his email last night. Oh, you guys, it said my internet connection was unstable. Hopefully it's okay.
It stopped and came right back.
Did it? Okay. All right. Baby Yoda said, no reply necessary. I care. And another 17 for your mom. Thank you, Baby Yoda. Also, Informative Info said, is it just me or am I the only one holding back the dank memes until 2020? Also, what time is Dilley coming on? Dilley will be on any minute. He'll be here at 10 p.m. Michael Kenny said, if we could swing it, would you do Joe Rogan? I don't know that Joe Rogan would come on the show, but I don't suppose that I would turn down Joe Rogan. He would have, how many million viewers does he have? Like, he's got more viewers than any mainstream television station with a YouTube channel.
We would do it, but we would make him go to a commercial break that he never does, because we would literally say everything that everybody's been wanting to say to him. Yeah. And then Baby Yoda, try not to smile. It's impossible. I can't. Hey, you know what, guys? Methods, did you want to do that special announcement right now? Yeah, I guess we could do that while
before Dilley gets here.
Yeah, Dilley making his way over here. I just messaged him. He's good. Well, we said it would happen. We said we'd have a special announcement, and starting January 5th, not this next upcoming Sunday, but the following Sunday, I believe we said 9 p.m. Eastern was the final time. Me and Red Pill and I will be doing a weekly show together. We will be doing a show kind of as the vibe of what we're doing now. Sometimes it'll just be me and him just chatting about whatever, kind of breaking away from the news thing, breaking it in real time, but just chatting, having these conversations, just letting it go. We'll bring guests on, we'll do the revolving door thing, bringing some of our friends on like we've been doing these last few days. So, get the word out. January 5th will be the debut of the Red Pill Methods hour, sometimes two. We'll play around with it. But yeah, I'm excited. I told you guys I was coming back, and what better way to do that? And I will also be going with Space Shot probably a couple times a month on his channel to do the Saturday morning news reviews. So here we go. I'm excited.
Really looking forward to this, you guys. Very excited that Methods and I are going to be hosting an hour each week. I think that you guys are going to love it. You've loved the last two nights, it seems like. Everybody's having a great time. I like having, this little bit of... more relaxed atmosphere, not necessarily having to worry about, getting my questions all prepared and being on point. So to be able to just once again hang out with my boys and you guys all at the same time, it means a lot, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. So, we're going to be doing a lot of different things. Sometimes, like you said, we're going to have some people on. Sometimes it's just going to be us. Sometimes I think we're just going to do movie reviews. It'll be super cash. And I see people got a little bit freaked out about Joe Rogan. What Method said was totally accurate. We would, tell him what everybody else thinks. I don't think anybody ever challenges him when they go on his show. Hey, and the man himself, Brenden Dilley, is in the house. Welcome to RedPill78 Red Pill News special Christmas edition. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me. You guys hear me okay? Everything coming through clear?
Yep.
Hey,
5x5.
Comfy. What's up, Dilley?
I'm great, man. I just rushed home. I took the family out to the movies for one of those the dinner and a movie deals, and we went to see the new Star Wars movie. And
what'd you think? Be real here, dude.
It was pretty gay, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
it was just lame. The thing, the kids liked it, right?
Of course, yeah.
But they've made these like movies like progressively more like juvenile. Like even the premises of the movie, like the premise is so like immature. I don't know. Does that make sense? Like even the storylines feel like 10-year-olds wrote them.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the thing: is that it's as best I can tell, they didn't have a real script. They had like a couple of different scripts, and they tried to put them together to have, you know, a movie that would appeal to people. But you know, J.J. Abrams, he's got this thing where people just have to, you know, they got to find something. And it's I've heard a lot of people say it felt like a video game. You know, they're like, you know, go find the grenade launcher. And then they have to go spend the whole movie doing that. And it just does not really work.
It was incredibly lame, like poor storyline. I mean, that's one of the things I look at, and maybe you guys do the same thing since we're in the same arena, some combination of entertainment and education. And what I see is a giant gap of a lack of intellectual entertainment from Hollywood. I mean, everything that they put out is really, really weak and poorly written, and it lacks creativity. And you can tell they're trying to color inside the lines, and that's why it's not working. With that being said, I fully expect Rihanna to put out a tweet that's going to shock you guys, because before this movie started, I was about to drop an F-bomb. I don't know if this is...
Yeah, don't swear.
That's kind of how I get down. So, no, but before Rihanna's... the movie started, you guys, I kid you not, transvestites on the screen for like this. They're doing some kind of a skit, and it's like not even good trainees. Like we're talking like really awkwardly. Okay, and then my 7 and 8-year-old boys are sitting next to me. Yeah, the little boys are sitting next to me. And they're like, "Are those girls or boys?" And I'm like, "Dude, why am I having this conversation before Star Wars 2 days before Christmas?" You know what I'm saying? Like, but and she took video of it. She was so irate. She's like, "I'm tweeting this out." I'm like, "Wait till after the movie, babe." Like she was so pissed. That was great.
Oh, that's hilarious. I just want to let you know, 412 and on in the chat said, "Send Dilley my love." So that's from 412. Yeah.
Love you guys, man. You guys are so dope. It's so cool to get to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, man. I'm so glad you're here. I've been wanting to have you on the show for a long time. White Hat, were you trying to talk?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and duck out so y'all can do y'all's thing. I appreciate y'all having me.
All right. Well, before you go, I mean, I want to make the official introduction. Brenden Dilley, this is our good friend and government insider, White Hat. He is very, very special person in our lives.
Good to meet you, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Good to meet you. Like your hat and your shirt. And
thanks.
Look, I love you, bro. I love you guys.
Love you too, brother.
I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, but I kind of like the Star Wars movie, so I don't know, man.
Well, don't get me. I'm a Star Wars fan. You know, I'm a Star Wars fan. I just do not like what Disney has done with these last 3 movies.
The last one sucked. The last one was terrible.
Last Jedi, I almost walked out. I was like, I can't believe I'm even considering this. I don't think I want to finish it. It's the only, I didn't buy it. Like I own every Star Wars movie. I really liked Rogue One, and I you know what? I don't own Solo. I didn't buy Solo either. That was Solo.
Man, I'm in my 40s, and I was after the movie. I came home, went in the closet, and got the lightsabers out and had a battle with my child.
I mean, if I had an 8-year-old, I would have done the same thing. But you know, I mean, I'm gonna wait to see it on you know, some streaming service or something like that. But you know, this is the first time that Star Wars is not going to get my money in the theater. I just, you know, I'm not impressed. From what I understand, they're going to totally reboot this new Disney Star Wars universe because they got Kevin Feige from Marvel over there. Well, because they got Kevin Feige now. He's taken over.
Why can't they just write new stories? Where the hell is the creativity, man?
No, that's what I mean. They're rebooting their approach to it. So
I know, but why not? Like just scrap it. It's done, dude. It's been 40 years. Like let it die. Like do something new.
But they've okay, I get you there. But what I'm saying is there are like hundreds of novels, you know, that explore the extended universe, and that's what they're going to do. You know, so quit trying to make it, you know, like social justice, quit trying to import like all of these modern day themes, you know, just put some characters in there cuz they make sense. You don't need to have your diversity count, and make sure that you got somebody selected from every single group and underrepresenting other groups, you know. So
yeah, this would be the old Republic. I believe.
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it's good. If it's not good, I'll tell you. All right, White Hat. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Merry Christmas, White Hat.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everyone. And remember, Jesus is the reason. Don't forget about it.
That's right.
Y'all have a good night.
Merry Christmas. All right. Dilley.
Well,
Thank you so much for coming on the show, brother. Thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Yeah,
So-
I was glad to, I apologize. I had to reschedule the last one. Got home from being out of town, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it in time. So I'm glad you guys were able to fit me in.
Hey, you can thank everybody in the chat can thank Dilley on why this is a 2-night special, and you get to enjoy this on a Monday night as well. But no, it's great. He let me know ahead of time as soon as he figured it out. Hey, you have a good time with your family?
Yeah, man, we had a good time. We're up in Flagstaff, Arizona, and you got to travel a little bit north to see some snow in Arizona. So we went up there and took the kids, and it was a blast, man. We played in the snow. It was funny. I woke up yesterday morning. It was like 25 degrees out, and I'm walking my dog. I'm like, dude, this is so ridiculous. It's so cold. And then I load the kids up, and we load everybody up. We leave. And by the time I got home 2.5 hours later, it was 73. I was like, there we go.
I didn't know it ever got that cold in Arizona.
Oh yeah, man. You had 2 years ago, I was up in Williams, which is just outside Flagstaff. Mind you, this is only 130 miles from Phoenix, right? And it was 8 degrees. It was the coldest place in the entire United States for that day. It was in Arizona of all places.
That's insane. I mean, I don't think I've ever been in Arizona when it wasn't at least like 85 or, closer to 90. Real quick, Baby Yoda said, try not to smile. Of course, thank you, Baby Yoda. Play for Dunham said, Pennsylvania in the house. Where we go one, we go all. And BHEC1216 said, we have entered the nerd zone. Okay, well, we've gone out of the nerd zone now, guys, so don't worry about it. No more Star Wars.
Yeah, I had nothing to add, so I'm glad we're moving on.
I didn't even know. I honestly, I'll be straight up with you guys. I had no idea what the hell was even happening in this movie because I haven't watched Star Wars in like 10 years. So I was just watching like, dude, I don't get it. What are these people? Why is everybody on their feelings? Like, I didn't understand what was happening.
Oh, did you see the video of people screaming their heads off at the end because they weren't
Yeah.
whatever it was, they weren't happy about it, and people were packing up and leaving early. And
I dipped with like 7 minutes left because I had to be here, and I left the kids in Rihanna there. I was like, hey, I'll meet you back at home.
Hey, well, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Most
No worries.
definitely. So, Dilley, what thinking about the year of 2019, looking back at everything that's happened, how do you feel about 2019? What are you most thankful for?
Oh, God. MAGA, everybody who supports this movement. I think we spent a lot of time giving thanks for Donald Trump, appropriately so. Like, you should. He's the man. And I think his administration and his family, what they have done and what they've sacrificed has been incredible. But one of the things I think that gets lost on most people is you make him possible. Your unrelenting support of him and his agenda, and your vocal support, your willingness to push back online, in person, wearing your gear, whatever you're doing. I think a lot of Americans don't realize, even people in this audience might not realize, dude, it's you. You're what gave him that strength. Your enthusiasm about the economy, your enthusiasm about his agenda, your pushback, your correcting the narrative. All of that is made possible because he tracks all of it. And this is how a lot of people don't realize this is how politics work, man. They're tracking everything all the time to make sure that he's above a certain number to continue making the more provocative moves that he makes. And it's because we have stuck together for 3 years through this nonsense. And so I am thankful for the end user, the average American who watches my show, this show, and supports the president of the United States because it's incredible, man. I mean, they saved this country.
Absolutely. We were talking about that earlier, the cohesiveness that we've been able to achieve. It's unlike anything ever before in the history of this country. President Trump has leveraged Twitter and social media in such a fashion that he brought all of us together, allowed people to kind of come out of the closet as a conservative a lot of times, like many people were afraid to say something. I don't know if you probably don't know the story, but in 2016, after he won, I live in a very liberal area, and I came out as a conservative. I lost my business. Every single client that I had pulled out, and I had to reinvent myself. And here I am on YouTube now. But for a while, it was a little bit scary, but at the same time, I was like, you know what, forget it. I don't care. I am so sick of having to hide who I am because the way that I feel, my conservative leanings, it is not a negative statement about who I am, and by coming out and being able to talk to other people and meet the people in this movement, it's made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think there's so many people that have that very similar story that they live that. And part of it too is some people, I think, slowly come around to being conservative, and some already were for quite a while, and they knew, and then they came forward. I think what's fascinating are the ones that when they have that moment where they go, oh my goodness, I'm changing. I think I've changed my opinions. I've learned new information. Maybe their belief system changed a little bit. Maybe they had family or kids, or they got a new job and actually paid taxes, and they were like, wait, like they did not tell me about this down at Starbucks. This is not what I was told, that being a conservative was about. And I think what happens is it's fascinating, I think, to see that mind shift where, because they didn't have the fear before, right? Like if you were in the middle or on the left, or you were just kind of indifferent, you didn't have this fear and you didn't even understand it, what it meant to be maybe alienated or ostracized. Like you think you did, but not really. And so I think what's fascinating is watching people who maybe didn't care or became conservative, and they go through what you went through, which is, I've got to talk about this. It's a part of who I am now. Like I feel very passionately or strong about it. I guess we'll see what happens. And then more often than not, what happened was exactly what happened to you, what happened to me and many others, which is all of your existing clients or database go and they're gone. They're just like, we're out of here. You're a racist, xenophobe, and all this other crazy crap they call you. And then you have to make this decision, which is, now I'm in no man's land and you probably felt like this, which is because you didn't have this yet, but you didn't have that either anymore. So you're like, all right, so I'm alone. and then you kind of pick up the pieces and you're like, well, I got to start talking about this somewhere. Yeah. And, you guys chose YouTube. I chose Periscope, and you just start going out into the world saying, all right, I'm still like the same guy. I still teach a lot of the same things, except for I like the president of the United States. And then you start, pulling people together. But there is that time where there's nothing, right? Like you probably felt it. It's just look around and like, all right, well, that's everybody. Exactly. Yeah. And it was pretty empty for a little while, but I would say without a doubt, the connections that I have made in this arena are so much stronger and will be so much more long lasting than anything I ever had previously in my life. Because, I can't imagine somebody that I know now, saying that they're going to fire somebody because they voted for Barry Obama. Right. I mean, it just, whatever. Okay, so we don't agree on politics, but whatever. We're just going to get over it, Right. But it's not the same on the other side. They are so ramped up in their feelings. It has nothing to do with logic or reasoning, or they can't take a look at the world and see how much better it is. Can I ask you guys a question? You guys can pose this to the chat, because I want to see if I'm the only guy feeling this way, or if you guys do this too. Do you ever feel like when you talk to a liberal, like let's say somebody says, oh yeah, I voted Hillary, and you're like, oh, okay, you still, like, is that still your, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm like resisting hard over here. Yep. And you're like, okay. So in my mind, when I meet people like that, one, I'm like, what? They still make you? And then right? Two, right? Like that's the first one, because I'm just like still blown away. Like, what? Like I thought that, model expired. And then the second thing I immediately think, and this is probably the arrogance in me, is I'm like, oh, so you just haven't figured it out yet, right? Yes. Like it's not that they're permanently that. It's just, oh, you don't know. So all right, come here. But like, I don't think it's the same. Like, I think the left doesn't grab conservative and go, let me show you how to be more liberal, right? They just are like, burn. And but the opposite, and maybe it's our arrogance, is I'm like, oh, you haven't been woken up yet. So let's sit down and talk. I'm gonna explain some things. And I approach every one of them like that. Some of them, obviously, you have to write them off because you can tell they're kind of nuts. But I don't know. You guys ever feel like that, though? Like when you meet one that seems relatively reasonable, you're like, you're going to come around. Don't worry. I'm going to get you. Yes, it's happened in my real life. I've definitely done that a couple of times. And I never considered it arrogance. I just considered it that, we're on the right side. I mean, they really must not know, because if they've done any research, then there's no way they could be sleeping at night and still have that train of thought. Hillary Clinton, my sister has an I'm with her or I'm still with her sticker on the back of her car. She sent out Christmas cards that were like, like trans people exist, and we only accept change and cash in the new year. It was incredible. I looked at the card and I was like, oh my God. She doesn't talk to me because of the way that I feel. But I gotta tell you guys, I had a friend that she sent me a photo of her family's Christmas card. Now, mind you, her parents are like in their 60s. I kid you guys not. It had like Kanye West on the cover. It said Epstein didn't kill himself. It had all of this stuff. But imagine it arriving from like your boomer grandparents, right? And it's got them like, and when she goes, dude, my parents are amazing. And I was like, dude, that is awesome. So jealous. Yeah. That is so cool. Methods, you said you got a story about this?
Yeah, I've got a Bernie supporting neighbor, and some people that follow me for a while know that I've really tried, and I've kind of gotten her to say things like, yeah, well, I can't really argue with Trump on what he's doing and all this stuff, but she's diehard ready for Bernie, ready for him to make his waves in 2020. And we were having a conversation the other day, and she was talking about how, like I was like, so why do you support Bernie and not just support the president that's been voted in, at least during this time? She goes, I just think that he was just really, dealt a bad hand. I think Hillary really screwed him over and all this stuff. And the last words I've had with her for 2 months now was, well, I think he kind of gave into it and probably got paid off. And I went too far, and I said that Bernie did that. And I now get the stone-faced wave while she's walking her dog.
Hey, man, you got to be careful. Bernie supporters are the violent ones. Don't ever forget that.
I went too far. I went too deep. And we just are waves and dogs going to the bathroom. That's it.
Oh.
We got a couple of thank yous to give to the audience. Social Observer wants to know if you're a flat earther.
Oh, dude.
I'll take that as a no. Hey.
Is that a thing now? Is that like a thing? Is that where
it is a thing. It is a thing. And it's out there, believe me. Hey Jude says, my sister was snowed in last year outside Payson, Arizona. Dilley knows the town. Yep. And Social Observer also wants to know, is it that bad if we start a new America? I mean, I would argue that that's what we're doing right now. I mean, we're shuffling off the mortal coil of the old America and the old corrupt political system that we had.
I don't like the idea of new America, like that whole premise. Not because I agree with you, which is we're essentially rebirth essentially of America, but I'm stubborn. I'm like, I'm not giving up shit to you people. Like, I'm not giving you the land. I'm not giving you the history. You're not getting nothing, man. Like, this is ours. It was always ours. And the fact that you managed to hijack it culturally and politically for like 40, 50 years doesn't make it yours. Like, that just means that you borrowed it until we woke up and got together. But I'm more of the reawakening maybe line of thinking versus, we're going to just start something new. Like, that's not really my kind of deal,
I'm with you on that. And then who is it? Good Dog says, I can do anything I've set my mind to except troll like President Trump. Keep trying, because I bet you that you'll get there one day. Thank you, baby. Yeah.
Subtlety is key.
Baby Yoda said, thank you very much. Herkimer Fuddwaddle said, I tell libs enjoy your surprise. I think that's a good one. Informative Info said, best show on Periscope and YouTube, The Dilley Show. And then James Rohrbeck said, Dilley has a great show. Find him on YouTube. Thank you, Dilley. Dana Finkler said, can methods get Think Ankle Dog Face to trend? That's a moniker for Hillary Clinton, an affectionate moniker for Hillary Clinton.
Day 3, man.
Day 3. Keep trying, man. It'll get there. Shane Preston said, oh, hey, for the vaping jacket. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Nice and comfy over here. And then Social Observer also wants to know, Dilley, are you more of a TPUSA or an America First guy?
I don't even know what that means. I mean, I kind of have an idea what that means.
I'm Turning Point
stay in
USA.
my lane. Yeah, I stay in my lane. I don't. There's a reason I'm a one-man show. And I did the whole participate in a quote newsy groupie thing once before. Mm-hmm. When I was with Your Voice America, and I just sort of walk to the beat of my own drum, and I don't care about the little minutia. There's a lot of people that get lost in the minutia. They when you get lost in the minutia, you start to lose track of A, what you're doing, and B, I think you start to target and maybe focus on people that are, whether you like the direction they're pulling in exactly, they're pulling the same way as you, just maybe in a different kind of way. And once you have those kind of little infighting, nonsensical arguments, I think it's a waste. I think there's a lot of broke haters out there. I'll be honest with you, bro.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of people that don't know how to do business. This is what I've seen in new media. There's a whole bunch of broke losers that don't know how to do actual business. And when you don't know how to do business, it becomes really, really easy to let your frustration and jealousy boil up because you're trying to eat. And you're like, man, I'm grinding on this thing. I'm putting my face on it. I'm putting my name on it. I'm here every day doing what's right. And then these guys are saying this, and it's disrupting what I'm doing. And I think that's the attitude of people that are too busy focusing on other people rather than what their goal is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. I just want to say, AKA Real Dirty is in the audience. A great show.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, glad you're here. All right. So, well, let's talk about your journey here, Dill. I mean, are you gonna run for public office again? I mean, was that a one-time gig?
Yeah, no, I will. I will at some point. I learned something though, and I learned that it's better to do that when you have money versus when you don't. And so doing that broke, and like trying to put it to piecemeal the whole campaign together, and trying to, obviously nobody does like what I did on a special election. There's only 6.5, 7 weeks to build a campaign, fund it, and run. It's not really the ideal circumstance. That being said, man, I make more than our congressional members right now. I don't have an interest in going and doing that. Like, I look at their circumstance and I'm kind of like, I can't inflict the change I'd want, number one, right now, because everything is so goofy. And number two, I think that you have to red pill the electorate so that they can understand why you're running later. And so for me, I think I can do more good for the country on the outside right now as political commentary. I'm 37 years old. I figure give it another 7 to 10 years and my kids are all grown and I have more time on my hands and I've got that bank account to justify and support that. I would do it. 100% I would do it. I love this country. I want to represent the people. But right now, I think I was very naive the first time I ran because I really didn't fully understand the process or what it takes to actually be successful at it. And I don't want to do it again unless I'm successful. So
I understand. I ran for city council back in 2001, and you got to have a campaign manager, and you've got to be doing fundraisers on the regular. I lost like 25 pounds walking to every single house in my district here. Yep. I lost by 450 votes, dude. It was like the closest thing. But I found at that time it was really surprising to me how the corruption was still like, full effect even at that city level. And, once I realized that, I decided I never wanted to get involved with it ever again because I could have won if I would have walked in there and said the right things to the right lawyers, some lobbyists there in town. They when I got my name on the ballot, they asked me to come in and we chit-chatted for a few minutes and he said, well, I'm not gonna waste your time. He's like, if we let you win, are you going to play ball? And I was like, no, I'm not going to play ball. And they were like, okay, well, good luck, and then walked out and that was it.
That's kind of it. Right. That's kind of my point is like, I don't want to go into a system that's already geared and not yet been dealt with. I want to, if I go into this at some point, I want to be able to go in and actually right away start making moves and have the people behind me and have the other members of the house or whatever it is I'm running for behind me. I don't know, man. I looked at it. I just kind of, I don't know how it just looked. It lost some of its luster. Tell me if I'm the only one thinking this. I look at the House of Representatives right now and I'm like, what a disaster. Like, I wouldn't even want my name on that. Don't care what side of the aisle you're on where you're like, oh, I'm so representative. And they're like, oh, you're the guy who hasn't done anything for like a year because you guys have been arguing. Yeah. I just don't want to even be near that train wreck. I think they've got to go through some house cleaning first.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, Dilley. I found you through your campaigning. You were online doing your thing. I know I have a bunch of friends who found you through that too. And I'm personally grateful. Would have loved to have you in there, especially to give your 2-minute speech on why in this nonsense. That would have been great. I would have shared the hell out of that clip. But with that said, man, having you out here doing what you do, I mean, I couldn't imagine because I get so many things sent from you. They're like, Did you catch Dilley today? Did you catch Dilley today? And we wouldn't have that if you're too busy dealing with all this stuff there. So I support it, man. I'm happy to doing what you do now.
Well, the other thing that was, that's happened because of the way I did my particular business model, man, it's overwhelming because I was an entrepreneur that came from like nothing and had nothing and made nothing for years and was just getting by the skin of his teeth and credit cards and everything else. And now I've got small businesses that support my show who are now having success for the very first time ever. They're having huge numbers. They're doing big numbers. And I look at the ability to take like one little show, one little MAGA show, and to influence and be able to actually uplift 10, 12, 15, 20 other entrepreneurs into a level. Maybe not, they're not making the biggest money in the world yet, but they're on their way. They've actually got a small business now launched and started. And for me, I take a lot of pride in that because it's not just about, the success of me personally or the show, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like all these people, these small businesses, some of them that came to me like with an idea and just said, if I did this, would you let me present it on your show? If I launched my business, I'm like, yeah, come back in 3 months. And then they come back, we launch it, and voila, they have success. And that's the power of MAGA. And that's, for me, that's turned out to be a much more, I think, rewarding endeavor, I think, than just maybe the ego trip that would have been to win and go to Congress and yell at Nancy Pelosi every day, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. I think that a lot of people in this movement, I mean, many, if not all, are looking for ways to support other people in the movement because they've got similar stories to, what we were talking about earlier, or, they want to do business with somebody who has a shared set of values.
Yep.
And it's much better to do it that way. Do you have any sponsors you want to plug on the show tonight?
Oh, well, we got Kaylee behind me. They're amazing. She just makes incredible products. She's my daily sponsor. Nice. I mean, I got so many. I would feel bad just start plugging stuff. But no, this is right now. We'll just go with Kaylee. Also, shout out to the person that sent me. This is so cool, you guys. I'm not gonna curse, but my hat has a curse word. So
okay.
So I'm gonna try to So someone sent me this hat, right? All right. I'm doing my best. All right. But dude, it's got Ted Nugent's signature. How cool is that?
Oh, that's great.
So this is going to go in the office here at the Dilley household.
And then I saw that first on 8kun.
Did you?
That image was shared on 8kun.
No kidding. Awesome. Well, now it's in Dilley's office.
I was about to say, small world.
Yeah, and then I got this one too, which I thought was pretty cool. This is like a mug. You guys could see that. And it says Dilley's. Well, you can read it. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
That's great.
So anyway, yeah, I get so many neat things from people, but no, as far as sponsors go, the only one we got going today is Kaylee right now.
Right on. A couple of quick thank yous from the audience. Dana Miam says, love the Dilley show and thankful for you patriots being the voice for all of us who've been silent for so long. We are the majority and not silent anymore. Thank you for that, Dana. Alexandria Occasional Cortex said, my fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. Taraxicum Aficional just gives a thumbs up, and it looks like a calendar, or is that, thumbs up date, I guess. Social Observer wants to know, why is the Soros family still allowed to wreak shop at the local level? Maybe wreak havoc at the local level? You got any thoughts on George Soros? He's kind of come up in the news recently. It's good news, we think.
The only thing that was ever given to me in any of the time I was receiving any kind of intel from inside sources anywhere, the only thing that was ever told to me that when it came time for George Soros to be dealt with, it would not be the U.S. government dealing with him. So the only thing that was ever given to me was that George would be dealt with and it would not be the United States of America. So I'm not sure what that means or who that means. I don't think it'll be us that prosecutes and goes after Soros. I think it probably will be somebody else that deals with him once and for all.
Well, I mean, we got Britain taking a look at him right now for election interference.
Russia still wants him.
Russia still wants him. Yeah. All of it. Shelley Pangborn, thank you for that super chat. Also, Trisha Q Patriot Texas said, Dilley, this is my first time seeing you. You're boisterous, and I love it. Methods, you've never acknowledged me, and that's okay. Love you anyway. RP, what can I say? I never miss your shows. My California friends do too. Go ahead. Acknowledge Trisha Q Patriot Texas.
No, I'll acknowledge you. Don't get me wrong. So you give the compliment to Dilley, which is great. He's the guest of the evening. Welcome, Brenden. But you immediately go in that direction. I'm acknowledging you. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and everything's great. And DM me, and if I don't follow you, drop your Twitter real quick for me so I can do that.
There you go. Merry Christmas, Trisha. That's a good one. Patriot 1956 said, Dilley for president 2028. Go for it.
There you go.
Red Fox Wisdom joined up. Thank you for joining up, Red Fox Wisdom. And Son of a Green Card said, thoughts on George Soros showing up at the airport trying to intimidate Chanel Rion and Rudy. Do you have any thoughts on that, Brenden? I know I do.
I got some information on that I'm don't even know if I can talk about that yet. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, we can't go down that path yet. It would be too much. It would be too close to home. What I'll say on that, I think George has been in Ukraine for a while, and I'm about to do a good old Dilley pat on the back. Because I was the one that told everybody that he was in the Ukraine in January of 2018 during my congressional run, between my intel source and I had another source that was a really great guy and he was brilliant. And I've always accused him of being a part of the CIA and he's always pushed back and said he wasn't. But I always tell him, I'm like, dude, nobody lives in 43 countries in 35 years. All right. So yeah. that being said, he was the one that was like, here is the path you need to go down. Here is where George Soros is at. Here's the old images you need to dig up. And it's sure enough, it's the old images of Obama in Ukraine in front of that old chemical weapons manufacturing plant that went missing. They said they got rid of it. And then we had what was supposed to be a Russian potential chemical attack in London or something. They tried to attribute it to Russians, and it was the same weapons that had been in Ukraine. And so Ukraine has been, I believe, in bed with the Democrats for at least 30 years, probably. Yeah. Going back to, Obama was there in 2004 with, who was the other senator out there in Illinois? Who's the guy I'm thinking of? Isn't it, you guys know who I'm talking about? He's the old guy. He was there.
I can't remember his name.
Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, Obama and him were out there together, and then nobody paid attention to that because it didn't make any difference to us, right? And so then it was 2+ years ago that I had a few different kind of pointing in that direction, saying, because my guy that was telling me this stuff, he's in charge of rebuilding countries that get destroyed. All right. That's like he's a nation builder, literally.
Okay.
And he goes in and he would basically be the one that would plot the map to go from war-torn, destroyed country back to functioning government, functioning everything. And he was in Ukraine and he told me flat out, he goes, there are Nazi brown shirts walking around on behalf and working with George Soros and Hillary Clinton and others. Ukraine is the spot. This is it right here. And this was January of 2018. And I had talked about it at the time, and we put a lot of information out at the time, and then it was quiet, and then voila, here we are. And it's very much, I think, all of this stuff is coming to the surface, and it's very fascinating.
Yeah, there was a documentary about Ukraine that was released very recently. It had Oliver Stone in it. He was doing the interviews, but Igor, I can't remember his last name. He's going to be a guest on the show in the future, and it was really interesting. When the Ukraine left the Soviet bloc, you said nation building. Well, they basically did the exact opposite. They dismantled the country of Ukraine so that they could then come in and take over everything, the flow of cash, the flow of resources, and they took these jobs and they just all left because they were unable to use their skills and to do anything. They've got tons of coal in Ukraine, but they're not using it. They're importing gas, they're importing coal from other countries, and that is a huge thing with Burisma. It all ties back to the Democrats. It's great. 27
Always.
Sparkle, thanks for that super chat. Lindsay Lass says, Red Pill, please say Dilley's YouTube channel. Dilley, what is your YouTube channel?
I'm on Periscope. I don't really have a YouTube channel. Informative Info, who's in your chat right now, he's the one who has the official authorization to go ahead and repost my videos. He's the guy who takes the risk putting me on his channels on YouTube. But I'm on Periscope, so it's periscope.tv/ the real hub life is what it is right now. You guys understand I'm a moving target because they take me out all the time.
Yeah.
And so if you ever want to know where the one company that hasn't taken me out, it's Subscribestar. So I had a Patreon and that lasted less than a month. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, you got to leave. You do fake news. And it was just like, okay, right. So they closed my account and sent me like whatever couple of bucks that were left. And so I'm kind of a moving target. Twitters are constantly being deleted. Periscopes are constantly being deleted. Here's the important thing you need to know. I am on Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern, come hell or high water. I am always on at 12 p.m. Eastern. So if you are inclined to find me and you just type in hashtag The Dilley Show on Twitter at 12 p.m. Eastern, you're going to find me.
All right, right on. I did want to say, Dirty said, hello, Methods, and he said that he got a signed copy of Sidney Powell's book today. How cool is that? Yeah, what a great gift. And Q-Love said, Merry Christmas, where we go one, we go all. Thank you. So what are you working on right now, man? You got anything in the pipeline?
Oh, boy, that's
Always.
a question. Yeah, no, I'm a very big believer in the power of one. So, like, I never move on to anything until I've mastered something, right? I go very slow. There's some people that can do many at once. I prefer to, like, hone it, right? And so, yeah, we're working on some stuff. Mostly it's expansion of what we've already got and taking it to a totally different level. And so I'm very excited about that. I think it's going to be a big deal. I'm still working on American Late Night as obviously the host of a late night show. And that's in the works as well. And there's a few. We got some things in the pipeline. Like I said, I keep like a low profile when it comes to what I'm working on, only because it's better to be completely underestimated. I find that's my favorite place to be at, is just sort of subtly doing my thing, and then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, dude, this guy is everywhere. What the hell? So yeah, we got some good stuff going on, and I think honestly, I think that there are massive moves being made behind the scenes that will change the dynamic for all of us, the entire landscape for all of us when it comes to social media, the internet itself, and how that goes about. So I'm excited to see that happen. Well,
interestingly enough, my next question was, do you have any predictions for 2020 for the way things are shaping up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. What's funny is there's a few predictions for 2019 that came out, but there's a whole bunch of really cool things that happened that I did not see coming. And I pride myself as being somebody who sees stuff coming. And there was so much fun stuff that happened. Who would have thought that they would impeach Donald Trump and he would antagonize them about doing it, right? Right. He's like, what are you going to do? He's like, you did it, right? So let's do it. Let's dance, mother effer. And they're like, dude, we don't want to. We did our thing. We promised impeachment. It's so random, right? You would have thought, if I had told you a year ago, dude, he's impeached by December of 2019, you would have been like, oh my God, there's going to be civil war in the streets. There's going to be riots. Everybody's going to go crazy. And instead it's
bring it.
Yeah, you're like, that's cute. All right, I'm going to keep winning. All right. So there's a whole bunch of, things I didn't see coming. I think in 2020, I think that what we're going to see, honestly, I think that you're finally going to get I don't want to use the wrong vernacular, but you're going to get your pound of flesh as far as indictments and prosecution of deep state characters. You're going to have people that you've been waiting a very long time to be shut up. You're going to see them get shut up. I think that's imminent. I think you're also going to have, I made a joke about this and I'm starting to look at it dude, is that real? I said that by August, Trump might be running unopposed in the general election. And it's not even because I think there's going to be some dramatic, arrest Joe Biden moment. I think he just might die on the campaign trail. I don't think Joe's in bad health. That's a brain going awry, dude. That thing is not working right. And
Obama's doctor came out the other day and said that Joe's not in good health. Yeah,
I know. I tweeted about it. It's the same one who did Michelle's gender reassignment surgery, dude. And so you could trust that guy. He's worked on all of that stuff. But
he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he totally knows his stuff. No, but you look at Joe, and I'm like, dude, he's not going to make it. He's in a bad way. He can't remember where he's at most of the time. You can tell too. On a serious note, you can tell the challenges with the mental issues are setting in, just like some people that you'll see as they age and they have that dementia set in. The anger starts to come out. It's much more prevalent, the frustration, and Joe can't really regulate himself, dude. And so then I look and I go, okay, fine, Joe's out, but Bernie's not going to get it. They already jobbed Bernie once. He's not getting it. And frankly, I think they're bored on Bernie, which is why his crowds are abysmal compared to what they were before. And Elizabeth Warren won't get it, dude, because she's a dork. She's a straight up dork. Hillary at least was evil. You kind of were dude, she's evil. She's gonna win this thing, right?
Skeletor.
Yeah, but so I think some people were just yo, I'm not going against that, even by proxy. But Elizabeth Warren's a nerd, man. And not even a cool nerd. She's like a legit, you're the joke, and you still have never figured it out that they're laughing at you, dude, not with you. And so, and also, the big thing is that Elizabeth Warren can't get that money. She can't get that money, man. The big boys aren't paying Elizabeth Warren because they know she's going to try and destroy what they've built. So whether they're like Trump or not, they're like, dude, Elizabeth Warren is a million times worse. So you're not going to get that money. You got cats, dude? What are you, an evil villain? Is that a chihuahua?
That's a chihuahua.
Oh my God,
he's upset that the cat's coming over here.
This is the funniest thing ever. Just randomly, mid-sentence, I look down, dude, and there's this dog just I'll kill you.
Go. He's very territorial. He doesn't like the cat coming around.
That was awesome. So yeah. Anyway, I just look at it and I just don't think anybody, if I'm being honest, it's not that I don't think they can't get support. I don't think they're going to have the finances to run proper presidential campaigns through the fall. Right. I don't think the DNC's got the money. I don't think, and also it's kind of interesting too, that you've got these unsealed indictments that are coming out from Barr that are specifically relating to illegal donations and campaign funds. And the way that those things spider web out and how many other people that touches is anybody's guess at this point. And so I kept telling everybody that 2020 would be victory lap 2020, that it would not be a dogfight like 2016 was. I kept telling everybody this. And I know the president came out and he said, you need to act like you're 1 point down. And I get that. He gave us the Bill Belichick speech. And I appreciate that, POTUS. But I still believe, I'm looking at it and I'm like, dude, this is victory lap 2020. This is where President Donald J. Trump, I think, gets to do his, by midsummer, there is no doubt about who's going to win. I think that whoever his opponent is, I think it's going to be somebody who's simply there to lose and advance their name. They're going to be there strictly because I don't care. I'm going to take this, but I'm going to push forward our agenda, and I'm going to build myself a coalition of people. And it could be like a mayor butt plug, or it could be, any of these other people. I still think it's Joe Biden if he stays alive. Like, that's my main pick. I think it's Biden if he stays alive. But that's a big if at this point. Joe looks bad.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I think Biden is probably the most likely candidate. I mean, he's certainly the only one that I think that the establishment would be willing to advance. Yes. Somebody like Andrew Yang, somebody like Elizabeth Warren, there's not a chance. They're not going to allow her. Methods, do you have any ideas on who the Democratic nominee is going to be in 2020? Do you have any strong feelings?
Well, I mean, wasn't Obama recently running around trying to talk up Warren when he had Biden as his VP? So, I mean, we've got him talking up Warren, and Dilley just explained why that's a dumpster fire of a choice.
You know why he's talking up Warren, though, dude? Is one thing also, this is what Barry's seeing. Barry knows that the worse Biden looks, the more everybody looks at Barry and goes, dude, this was your VP?
Yeah.
Like, that's why he's like, don't do this, Joe. And he's just like, because he knows, this is one of the things about Joe. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. The more that Joe stays in the race, the more it destroys Obama's presidency, which is awesome. Like, it's simply deconstructing it. And we all know Joe's only running because he's trying to stay out of prison because of what happened with his kid. So, I think Obama's going to keep distancing himself from Joe Biden. I mean, I think what else is he going to do? He's the kind of guy, like, he's got no loyalty to anybody except for maybe the Muslim Brotherhood, but that is about it.
MB. Mark222714FTW says, great job, 222. Thank you very much. Click says, Dilley's at his best when he talks about Trump's vengeance. He's spot on with his analysis. Merry Christmas, everyone. Where we go one, we go all. There you go. Mel C says, Dilley is my lunch break and RP78 is my dinner. Methods is the occasional dessert. Love you guys. Where we go one, we go all.
What?
SoCal Conservative says, I'm late to the party. Merry Christmas to everyone. Glad you made it, though, SoCal. Justice Equals Freedom says, it's a reboot of America to stop all the unwanted programs running. Yeah, this is a hard reset, dude. We're just hitting that button. Social Observer says, no Durham report, only indictments. Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. People keep saying Durham report, but he's a U.S. attorney. He doesn't issue reports. He's going to be issuing a press release for the time, for him coming in and going on camera and, like Method said, showing that spiderweb background plaque with all the names and the lines going between them. Everybody that's going to get arrested.
He'll be reporting.
Do you guys think it'll be anticlimactic? Do you guys think it'll be anticlimactic where he has a sheet on the wall and he's like, or do you think there'll be pictures and he slowly rips the paper off of them, the reveal? How do you guys? I mean, do you guys think it's Trump organizing it, all right? And he's a showman, so POTUS isn't going to let you just go, here's a list of the names we think are being indicted. There's going to be something very, apprentice-ish about it.
It's going to be giant 3x5 poster boards, okay, with individual pictures and then a list of their indictments in bullet point. It's going to be very clear. Everybody's going to know exactly what's going on. Go ahead, Methods.
To Brendan's point, there'll be drum rolls in between each. There'll be cheers and stuff.
Remember when POTUS came out and it was showing all the regulations they got rid of, and there was that ungodly stack of paper? Remember that?
Yes.
Because he's a visual guy. There's no way he doesn't do this. And they're and revealing, and it's Obama's picture with that dashiki looking Muslim outfit. He's and they're that's how I think it's gonna go down.
And the final countdown's playing in the background or something.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Phenomenon said, thank you, RP78. Great interviews. Shout out to all my Patriot brothers and sisters I met initially on other channels. Unity in the Q community. Where we go one, we go all. Q rally in Tampa, January 11th. RedPillRoadshow.com. Educating Liberals was on last night. He's going to be headlining that event. Cool. Michael Kenny said, whoever the nominee is, I can't wait for the debates. Me either. I am just salivating, imagining what that debate is going to look like between Trump and the presumptive Democratic nominee. It's going to be hilarious. hilarious.
Does it look like that scene where they grab the slaves from underneath the Roman like Colosseum and throw them into the ring? Like they're like, no. And then it's like Pete Buttigieg in like a Roman helmet and like a sword, and he's just like,
he's just gonna have a wooden stick. He's not even gonna have a sword.
Like, and they're like, all right, you need to go talk to Donald Trump now, and he's just like, oh god.
Just get destroyed. Berserker Bear said, talking points, Trump's uncle Tesla connection. Think Trump could roll out free energy, and could he possibly bail out working taxpayers and cancel debt? I think personally that there's going to be some type of a reset, because if we go to a gold-backed system rather than, the Federal Reserve System that we have now, I mean, how are they going to measure all that stuff? I think there will be some type of a reset. But are you familiar with the theory about Trump's uncle and Nikola Tesla?
Yeah, I've seen most of it. I think that anytime you get too out in the ether, though, on some of that stuff, like every time you think of, he's going to introduce free energy, just remember, this is a capitalist. He's a capitalist through and through in every ounce of his being. And whatever you think of free energy, you're going to eliminate millions of jobs for Americans overnight if you roll it out that way. So it probably isn't like that, how you would actually see it. I think it would be a totally different approach.
I mean, I could see a free energy technology delivering power to people, and you're still paying for the delivery of it. You know, that way you would have the electric company, you'd have everybody needing to, service it and deliver it to you.
You'd end up with, let's be real, you'll end up with 25 years of military application first. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it's not going to touch us for a while. If that does exist, it'll be 25 years of the military perfecting it, getting it absolutely spot on, and then you'll see it introduced sometime down the road, and they'll go, hey, this is that tech that we've been talking about, and blah, you're done.
Yeah, there we go. A couple of years ago, the Navy actually announced that they had boats that ran on salt water. I mean, it basically sucks it into the turbine, it splits it up, and it's there. So I mean, they've already got it. It's just not out yet. White Hat said, Trump train is strong. Bring on anyone. I heard Durham releases something in January. Small crumb, perhaps. All right, well, if White Hat said it, I'm going to go with it. Durham releasing something in January. I mean, we're going to have to start somewhere. There's going to have to be a single indictment that is unsealed, first of all. I mean, we were just talking about the campaign financing issues with George Nader and a particular presidential candidate who we all know is Hillary Clinton. Obviously, I think it's no mistake that they unsealed that indictment against him and all of his buddies, and and it's for Hillary Clinton. I mean, that's who they were funneling money to, So we're going to have to continue to see these coming out, and I don't care who it is, really. I mean, it's going to be a show any way that we look at it.
I just really am enjoying the whole kill the deep state with like 1 million paper cuts.
Yeah,
like that's gonna suck. I was just talking to somebody today, and I'm like, think about this. Like every time they look up, and you can tell that part of, I think, the Trump derangement syndrome from Democrat leadership is from the fact that they keep waiting. They know he's got something, and they're just like, dude, just because you can't fight something you can't see. You can't fight something, or like, think of it this way. Imagine Trump keeps teasing them and tipping his hand at what he's got, but there is nothing official for them to push back or declare against.
Right.
So you're stuck in no man's land, just angsting about the fact that he's alluding to the things that you did, or they keep indicting people in your periphery. You know what I mean? Like, it's all these people that were associated with Hillary Clinton and Adam Schiff, but no one's directly come and knocked on Hillary's door. Instead, they're just arresting everybody that knows her phone number. I mean, that's got to kill you if you're those representatives. That's got to make you completely batty, which is why they all look like they haven't slept since Trump got elected.
Yeah, living in that constant, heightened state of awareness, knowing that at any moment the jackboots are going to be at their door. They're going to come sliding in on a rappel, through their front window.
I have it on good authority, by the way.
Okay.
I have it on good authority from somebody that just is maybe on, through the grapevine, that is on Secret Service detail for Hillary Clinton. She absolutely lives in fear of this. This is whatever you think, whatever false bravado you see, it is not real. The reality is she is scared to death that she's going to end up in a prison cell. She knows this. She knows that they're looking into everything she was a part of. That is a legitimate fear.
I would imagine that's got to be the sweetest detail that they could possibly get, knowing that at any moment they could get the call, slap the handcuffs on. This is it.
Watching her break down like 6-7 times a week.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just that vodka-fueled rage.
Just throwing a glass.
Throwing glasses. Like, you know, get that occasional phone call from Bill Clinton because Lord knows he's not hanging out there. He's just like, what are you doing?
Hey, honey, I'm in Bermuda.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't know, you got to stay off the TV. Told you I has to go to Wisconsin.
Kenahization says, what do you think about the giant lawsuit in federal court in Southern California last week against Google, Facebook, and 29 other unnamed companies for AI abuse assisting genocide? That's a great question. What do you think about that, Brenden?
I think that a lot of these companies, and they're not going to tell you this, they are so scared of what's coming down the pipeline. There is technology that is on the horizon, because these people have been breaking the law in a number of ways. And they sold out the country. They sold all of our information. One of the things that most Americans don't realize is, like, you being hacked by Koreans, for example, into your email, and then nothing happens. Let's say they didn't sell your information, but they got it. It's not about you, the individual, you know, having somebody get a credit card in your name. Okay. It's far deeper than that. What they're attempting to do is to make sure that they can catalog every American so that in the event that you rise to some level of prominence, they can leverage you and do different things to you like they've done in the past to control people. People don't understand this. Our infrastructure on the internet, our technological infrastructure, if you will, is a huge issue right now from a national security standpoint. And as such, is my belief, and kind of through the grapevine I'm hearing things, that there is R&D that has been dedicated to solve this problem permanently. How that rolls out, I'm not sure. I know we've got probably between anywhere from 12 to 18 months before it is rolled out. Facebook knows it. Google knows it. All the big tech companies know it. They all know they're on borrowed time, because once this happens, there will no longer be any censorship, and you will have total and complete protection, I guess, from hacking and stuff. You're going to have a decentralized format for this delivery system. And I know it involves the 5G network and something else even beyond that. That's kind of what I've heard I've heard from a couple of really random places too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some very in people that don't know each other, but chose to. I'm kind of like the go-between. Different people over the last month have reached out to me regarding this technology. So there is a solution on the horizon, and it's out of national security, because we cannot have foreign nations. And we already know this is happening. We already know about the bot farms that are from maybe Eastern Europe or from, you know, Asia or whatever, that are pushing discourse within the United States of America. We know about them hacking into different people's emails and different things to gain leverage over people. And that becomes a very real national security issue. And there is a solution that they're working on. So. Well,
that's very heartening to hear you say that. I mean, obviously, I would imagine that's why President Trump has gone so full force on 5G technology then.
Yes, it is. It has nothing to do with downloading Netflix faster. Like, people think that it's like, oh, I don't know if I want that. Here's what I'm going to tell you. The 5G push and beyond is about national security more so than just any kind of convenience or whatever. It's literally about securing our internet border, if you will, so that we can no longer be leveraged and attacked and used the way we have. And I think that's been a real problem. And that's where I think Google and Facebook and these companies they're in trouble, not just from some of them broke the laws or all of them broke certain laws, but also from a financial standpoint. You know, many of them, these aren't really special companies. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be replaced. What they were when they first came out may have been special and unique, but what they are now is pretty, you know, I guess kind of old, right? Like, they're dinosaurs by today's standard. They've only been able to exist because they've had a monopoly on the internet and the space that they occupy. But there's far better, I believe, programmers and developers and people that can come up with innovative ways of connecting and doing things than what we've got, which is all really mid-2000s tech. Facebook, Twitter, Google, none of that stuff's evolved that much other than using a bunch of, you know, baloney, algorithms and everything else. But aside from that, the actual user interface and the way that we interact with these items, it's old.
Right. You know, the audience is asking if you will do your Joe Biden impersonation.
My Joe I don't know if I can do the Joe Biden right now. Creepy old Joe, hey, Joe. My favorite thing to talk about is the fact that, like, you can tell Hunter Biden is the son that he didn't give a damn about. Like, because he's the crackhead kid, which is obviously the kid that nobody cared about.
He's like, you're no
kid,
Bo.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, dude, guy took the wrong one. He's like, and it must just chap his ass every time that they associate him. Because I can see him just looking at his wife going, that's your son. He's not my son. That's your son. Just being pissed off. Yeah, that's Joe Biden kills me, dude. The video that we did last week, I had my fiance, my beautiful fiance, Rihanna, help me with she did the Hitler speech over top of one of Joe Biden's answers at the debate because he was so like, and it was the funniest damn thing ever, man, because it's, the guy's amazing. Did you guys see the clip where he started to give answers and he kept cutting himself off? And I like that Joe preemptively will cut himself off when he forgets what he's talking about.
Right.
But he does it like he's being polite. Here, listen, what you gotta do here, you gotta remember, the American people don't want to. Anyway, that's a different story. You guys, back to you. And they're like, have you ever seen a debate where the guy debating is like, I'm taking enough of my time. Like, it's just like, it's so patently obvious he forgot what he was talking about. Right. And he pushes, he's like, that's enough. Let one talk. And you're like, dude, this is so awkward.
Oh my God. Oh, you're so right. You're so right. Social Observer says Dilley needs to study 5G low frequencies and AI. I think a lot of people are really concerned.
How do you know I don't?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know.
Quite presumptive of you, chat.
Marsha K says, Merry Christmas, Patriots, where we go one, we go all. Thank you, Marsha. And then John Matrix says, got to get Bix Weir, Road to Ruta in here and talk about the bank repos. It's like the 2008 bank bailouts all over again. I think we're getting dangerously close to, the financial system toppling down. The Fed is in the midst of buying up a whole bunch of bank debt again. It's a repo holiday. And, so we hopefully President Trump is going to do something about the financial system. We sorely need it in this country. And Social Observer says fiber optics is way faster and way safer. It's also a lot more expensive with all that infrastructure. And that's but I would love
gives you cancer, bro. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. All right.
At this point,
on cures and don't worry about that. Just focus on the cures and then go do what you got to do.
Yeah. And I've had guests on the show before talking about, things that you can do if you end up getting cancer, So, I mean, go back and look at those other shows. But, I have to believe that whatever President Trump is doing, he's balancing, capitalism with the safety of the country. So,
you got to ask yourself, where does the information always, where does the information come from that tells you to run the other direction, right? Like when everything makes sense and you look at the president, he's pushing for it. Like, what value is there to President Trump to be like, oh yeah, I want to bring forth technology that's going to kill like half of you guys, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's no, if you can give me a good like rational explanation for why he would want to do that, I would love to hear it. If you can't come up with them, it's because it's probably not true. And then you have to ask yourself, who's giving me the information that's telling me that X, Y, and Z are going to somehow, grow something out of my forehead and kill me? I don't believe it. I think that there is so many other things that America, like it's like the 400-pound woman telling you like, dude, you need to drink Diet Coke, not Coke. And you're like,
right,
dude, like you're ingesting a double Whopper with cheese with a Diet Coke. Like, don't tell me about the Diet Coke, dude. Put down the double Whopper. And so my attitude is there's a million other things that could kill you and that you probably are doing daily that are far worse than whatever technology may or may not be coming out. And I'm going to go ahead and go with I'll take my chances.
I feel you. That's the end of the super chats. Good stuff. It's 10:57. We're almost out of time. Dilley, tell everybody where to find you. Once again.
You can find me on Twitter at Dilley Show, at least this week. And you can find me on Periscope, periscope.tv/The Real Hub Life. And my permanent location, I guess, would be subscribestar.com/The Dilley Show. And I always put the new link to wherever I'm at that particular point. So,
all right. Yeah. Good stuff. Methods, you want to tell everybody where to find you? Not that they need to be told. Just go look at the Q posts.
Right. Yeah, at M to Madness over on Twitter. You will also be able to find me starting January 5th, shameless plug, here with RedPill78 on his channel starting January 5th, and we will be doing these shows every week. And Dilley, thank you for hopping on, man. It was really awesome.
My pleasure, you guys. I appreciate you sharing me with your audience and getting to hang out with you guys, and definitely look forward to connecting again in 2020.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you once again for coming on. Really do appreciate it. Hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas. Also had a couple people in the chat asking about what my plans for the New Year's shows are. I haven't actually planned that far ahead. I need to get through the holidays, but an announcement will be forthcoming in the next several days. And as always, guys, if I don't say anything specific, if it's a weekday, you can find my videos at 6 p.m. Eastern Time there on YouTube. And then, of course, on Twitter at RedPill78. If anybody wants to get involved and send me tips, you can do that at RedPill78 at ProtonMail.com. That information is always in the description of the videos, as well as a variety of ways that you guys can help support the channel. And then don't forget, if you support my sponsors, you're supporting this channel, so that means a lot. You guys, thank you once again to everybody who came tonight. Thank you to our full 3,000 guests that have been here throughout the entire show. Really do appreciate it, you guys. And thank you, everybody. I hope that everybody has a very Merry Christmas. Hope that everybody is safe and has a wonderful time with their families. Say goodnight to Cisco. There you go, buddy. He still wants to kill the cat. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to my mom. Thank you, everybody. As always, this has been RedPill78. I am the corruption detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless. Merry Christmas. God bless everyone.